Hello everyone. If you bake bread regularly, this has probably happened to you where you've had a flopped bread or a couple of loaves not quite rise to the heights that you expect them to. Well, this happened to me last week, which happened to be the week that I was baking 4 loaves because I was baking extra bread to give to other people. Well, that didn't really work out and I didn't have bread to give, but I thought I'm not gonna let this be a wasted mistake. What can I do with this bread? I don't want to throw it out. So I let these loaves sit on my counter looking sad and sorry for a couple of days, and then it dawned on me, I can make sourdough croutons with this bread and then it doesn't have to go to waste. And I was so happy to see that you can actually store croutons in your freezer, which will keep for a little while if you don't want to use it all right away, because obviously this is a lot of bread. I won't be able to eat all these croutons at once, but I can actually store it in the freezer and use it up for a couple of months as we make lots of summer salads. So it's the perfect time to be doing this if you've got any leftover bread that you didn't use up, or your sourdough bread didn't rise and bake as you expected it to. So let me show you how easy it is. I slice and dice the bread about 1/2 inch to 1 inch maybe. Think about the crouton that you'll be eating with your salad, and it will be hard and crunchy, so you don't want too big a piece, but at the same time you want it to be a biteable size. Also keep in mind that it may shrink a tiny bit in the oven while it's baking, so I would err on the smaller side. You'll see the slices that I'm making here was about right in my slices, but I could have diced them even smaller because it is a bit harder and crunchier to eat with salad, so the smaller bites you have to crunch through the better. Now after I slice and diced all the bread, in a large bowl I mix together some olive oil, salt, and some spices just to give it some extra flavor, and then I mix everything together. Once everything is well coated, lay it on a flat sheet and bake it in your oven for about 20-ish minutes. Now ovens tend to differ and have different temperatures. I don't even know how that's possible, but you should keep an eye on your croutons. Around the 20-minute mark is where you want to be. It may not seem fully crunchy and dried out at that point, but it will sit and cool and kind of harden up that way also. So do not leave it for too long. Around 20 minutes is a good average for these croutons to dry out. countertops, and then once they're cool, I will put them in Ziploc bags or jars and get them packed away. So give it a few hours. Alright, now these have cooled down for a couple of hours and they feel ready for me to store. And I'm just going to store mine in these small Ziploc bags. I feel like they would hold up best in the freezer. I could use big Ziploc bags, but I feel like you only use a little bit of croutons at a time. So if I freeze a bag like this, I can take it out in one go, use about half of it maybe for a salad, and store the rest in the fridge until another salad. And partially I have out of big Ziploc bags, so I think this is a happy accident. I'm going to store some in here. Always, before you put stuff in a Ziploc bag, just name it. It's much easier to do beforehand than afterwards. So I'm going to start by just naming a few Ziplocs here. And then speed this up while I put it into Ziploc bags and put it in my freezer. I'm seeing that some of these croutons is still lying in some oil, which is at the base of this pan, which is not going to dry up. So I think what I'm going to do is actually transfer this to a cooling rack, just so that it can properly cool, I think, just to be 100% safe. And I want these to last, so while I'm going through the effort, I may as well just make 100% sure. So I'm going to put these on cooling racks first. It's always a mess underneath the cooling rack because it's open, so it's gonna make a mess on the counter. So if you want, you can put a tray underneath just to catch any of the debris, make the cleanup easier. I know the cleanup with these are so easy, I can just throw these right in the trash. But I just remembered that I have a second batch to do, so I'm going to do that first and then I'll get rid of them. Doing this the second time around, I can say that it's easier if you put the bread in first, then coat it with the toppings over top, and then mix, than having the toppings at the bottom and then trying to mix that in. I hope that has been interesting and helpful to you. If you like content like this, please stick around, subscribe, and then you can catch some of our upcoming videos.